All right, so this is the PDP Rock Candy wired Xbox 360 controller. Now, from what I've heard, Microsoft isn't going to be making the wired Xbox 360 controllers for much longer. But that's not really why I bought this. I bought this because of the price. You can still find the real Microsoft wired Xbox 360 controllers in the store. They're about $40. You can still find the wireless for Windows controllers, but they're usually about $60, sometimes even more. And I didn't want to spend that much on a controller just for PC games. So I picked up one of these for $24.99 at my local Best Buy. Here in Canada, I've seen them at Best Buy and Future Shop. Obviously in the States, you'll find them in Best Buy. Maybe Walmart, I'm not too sure, or Target, stores like that. I've seen it on Amazon for about the same price. So for about $24.99, I thought I would give this a try. And it turns out it's actually a pretty good controller. When I saw the pictures of it online, I was a little bit concerned because the translucent plastic looks really thin and flimsy in some of the pictures that you see online. It comes in different colors, by the way. This is the blue one, obviously, but there's like purple and pink and green, and I think there's an orange one. It comes in a variety of different colors, and like I said, it's a translucent plastic. As for the feel of it, having it in my hands now, I have to say it feels pretty close to the real thing. It's definitely not light or flimsy. The plastic is pretty sturdy. As you can see there, I'm torquing on it pretty hard. There's no twist in it. There's no creak in it. It's actually, the plastic is thicker than it looks in the pictures, so I was happily surprised about that. The cord on it is 8 foot long. It does have that weird detachable, I guess it's like a safety. If you trip over the cord, it doesn't pull the system down or break anything. So it has that weird little brake connection in it. But like I said, that's 8 foot long. So for me, that was definitely long enough. The analog sticks feel very close to the real thing. They're slightly rubberized. They're nice and clicky, as obviously you would expect. The D-pad is, well, it's crap. It's basically the same as the real Xbox controller. It pivots very far down to where it actually touches the motherboard. Obviously, that's the biggest complaint on the real controller, and that's no different here. The face buttons, though, on the other hand, feel great. They're very responsive. The L and R triggers are awesome. You can actually see inside, and you can see how there's kind of like a control arm. The sensor's way far back, like halfway back, and you can see the pivot arm that controls it. But these feel perfect. The biggest problem on the controller that I noticed is probably the L&R bumpers. They're kind of a little more clicky than the real controller, but they feel a little bit flimsy. To be honest with you, if there's anything on this controller that feels flimsy, if there's anything that feels like it's going to break quickly, it's definitely the L&R bumpers. Not to say that they will, but they feel a little bit flimsier compared to everything else on the controller. Other than that, this thing feels great. So let's take a look at it playing some games because, well, I want to test my video card and this controller at the same time. So this first game here is The Witcher 2. And that's one of the reasons I bought this controller. Well, there's two reasons, really. The first reason is that now my computer is hooked up to the TV. And me personally, I would like to have this controller for basically anything except for first-person shooters. Obviously, I still want to play first-person shooters with a keyboard and mouse. But for games like Tomb Raider, where there's lots of platforming, lots of jumping, even side-scrolling platformers, if you're using emulators or N64 emulation, obviously the analog sticks are great for that. Racing games, I'd rather play racing games, especially sitting on the couch playing on a TV. Absolutely, you want a controller. So, like I said, first-person shooters, even third-person shooters like Max Payne and games like that, I'd probably still rather play with a keyboard and mouse. But there's a lot of games I would like to play with the controller. So I wanted to get a good controller that would work out of the box in most games. And like I said in my first video, when I first showed this controller, if you are just getting into PC gaming, the Xbox 360 controller is probably the best controller you can get.
Why not?
Either that or some of the Razors, which are basically Xbox 360 compatible controllers. But any sort of controller that's meant to be used on an Xbox 360 can usually be used on a PC. I don't want to say they all can because I'm not sure, but most of them will work. And this one, as you can see, works. And the great thing is it works right out of the box. So in this game, The Witcher 2, which is my girlfriend's game, and that's the second reason I bought this controller, is this is the first PC game my girlfriend's ever played. I'm not kidding. My girlfriend does not like PC gaming. She absolutely despised the idea of using a keyboard and a mouse to play a game. So that's one of the other reasons I got this controller, is now she's playing PC games and she's just thinking of it as the same as playing a console game. This game, out of the box, all the buttons were set up as you would expect. When you're told on screen to press a button, or when you see a menu on the screen, all the buttons correspond to the actual Xbox 360 controller, meaning the letters and the colors of the face buttons actually match. Or if it says press right trigger or right bumper, or click in the right analog stick, that all corresponds to the Xbox 360 controller, and it was all set up out of the box. The same goes with this next game. This is this is the demo for Castlevania. I forget what it's called offhand, but it's the newest Castlevania game that you can get on PC. And this is my girlfriend playing Castlevania, and once again, all the controller buttons were mapped by default. Actually, you didn't even have to go into the menu and pick a controller. It pretty much knew we had a controller. It knew it was an Xbox 360 style controller. All the buttons matched. Like I said, all the menus, when the buttons come up on screen, as you can see here, when the buttons come up on screen telling you to press a button, it corresponds to the actual letter and color of the face button. Once again, that's the benefit of having an Xbox 360 controller on PC. They pretty much work out of the box in most modern games that you would expect a controller to work in. And last but not least is a game I'm playing. This is a game called Darksiders, and one of my viewers actually sent me this game back, I think it was like December of last year. He sent it to me on Steam. I'm just starting to play it now, and I have to say it's pretty awesome. The graphics were better than I was expecting. I mean, I knew it was an older game, and I think it's probably a console port. I could be wrong. But it's a pretty neat game. As you can see, it's a lot of like hack and slash. It's very action-packed. But as you get further in the game, you see that there is some puzzle sort of elements, almost like Zelda type puzzles. So it's a pretty cool game. And once again, this game worked out of the box. Didn't have to go into the options and set anything. I didn't even have to tell it I wanted to play with the controller. I picked up the controller and it worked. All the buttons were mapped. Once again, they come up on screen as they should. Didn't have to set up anything. So this is 3 games we've been playing lately. The first 3 games we've been playing with the controller, and all 3 of them work perfectly with the controller. So once again, Xbox 360 controllers are awesome for PC gaming, and this controller is awesome for the price. For $24.99, I'm perfectly happy with this controller. I can't believe how well it works in these games, and for $24.99, it's awesome. Even the vibration works. I don't know if the vibration works in Witcher 2, but it definitely works in Castlevania and the Darksiders. It might be an option in Witcher 2 that I haven't gone in and looked for, but the other 2 games, right out of the box, the vibration even worked, just like you would expect in a console game once again. So I just can't drive it home any harder. The Xbox 360 controller is great for PC gaming. All 3 of these games I got off Steam. The Witcher 2 is on sale right now for $4.99, so I highly recommend picking that one up. As you can see, it has really good graphics, and like I said, this was also a test run for my new video card. This is all running on the new HD 5850 that I just picked up. All the games are running on high and 720p. My TV's only 720p, so that actually kind of works out. The card's probably not good enough to run The Witcher 2 on high at 1080p, but it can definitely run it perfectly fine at 720p. I mean, any stutter that you saw in this video is because of Fraps. Fraps slows down the game quite a lot when it's recording, but the video card can definitely handle all these games at 720p no problem. So I'm pretty happy with the video card. It's been running great too. So yeah, there you go. That's about it. See you guys later.